Hello, everyone. Welcome to one of the podcast series in conversation with the seniors. Today we have Miss Diksha Joshi, a BBA student from the founding batch with us. So let's welcome her.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, so let's start by knowing more about yourself.
Yeah, so as you already told my name, I'm Diksha Joshi and I am a part of BBA batch. And to explain about myself, as my friends explain me, they call me a Jack because I'm all rounder. So he will find me like almost every where in college, be it extracurricular or academic or anything apart from that. So yeah, I think that explains me well.
Yeah, so as we already mentioned that you are from the founding batch, so sudden change from 12th from other background and getting into NRTI being a new institute or a budding institute. So what was all going through your mind and how did you land in NRTI? So can you tell about that?
Yeah, so I was having a drop year after my 12th. So I was preparing for statistics. So NRTI was not in my list initially because obviously it is a new institute, so I was not even aware about it. So my father introduced the college to me. He saw it in a newspaper ad. So yeah, so he was very much, pro about it. Yeah, it is a new college, but it is a government college, so give it a try. So, like being myself, I am very much into taking risk and doing experiments and jumping into new things. So this was the part that actually attracted me towards NRTI. So you'll laugh, but for me it was never a reason that it is under Indian Railways or anything like that. Because maximum people join the college knowing the name of railways and expecting maybe they'll get job in railways or something like that. But that was the first thing we were made clear on the first day that no guarantee of railway job is there. But yeah, so it was never a reason for me. For me the reason was new field, new industry, new college, new concept, and experiment and risk for me. So yeah, that thrill was the attracting point for me.
So as you mentioned about the direct railway recruitment or something, I'll also make it clear to students. Yeah, because there is no railway recruitment because BSc, BBA graduates are given access or learnt about the entire transportation apart from railways. It's like not apart from railways, including railways, but not, it will be in a general introduction. It's not in depth in railways as well. So that's the reason that there is no railway recruitment, but you can specialize in that and then you can be a part of it. uh, that's it. So moving on, like you mentioned about how did you be a part of an RTI institute? So being a BBA student and founding batch student, and then having association with the college for like last 3 years, like do you think that your opinion changed over the time?
Not really, because it's still a new college, and yeah, so things have changed a lot. From where we started and how things are working right now. It's getting smoother day by day. And but the basic opinion for the field and for the college, I'll not say it has changed or something like that. It's still the same. You get to experiment a lot over here. Like it's still there. So you will still get an opportunity to fix up new things, trying out a new idea or something like that. Your this podcast is also a new idea, so you will get those chances and everything. So the opinion will is same at least for me. So if now also I'm like go back 3 years and I'm asked whether you want to go in RTI or not, I'll choose an RTI without any doubt because it was a very good experience for me for the whole 3 years. Everyone complains. So it is many people say na ki you this is not good, that is not good, this is getting fed up or something like that. But it is not also about the college being new. If you ask anyone from any other college, they are also facing the same issues, right? So it is just, everyone rant about their colleges that this is not good, that is not good. But apart from those factors, if you see the general college life, I had a lot of fun. So I don't have any opinion change or anything like that.
Yeah, so every college has that, and you already mentioned it. But still, when it comes to a bigger picture and then suggesting about our college, I will definitely suggest an RTI to any student or any junior or something else. So that's a good thing. So being a BBA student from the founding batch, so can you review on the curriculum structure that the college had, and as well as the faculties that you guys got to experience. Because I have also seen even our batch students have got an opportunity to learn from great visiting faculties who are really good in that field. So would you like to comment on faculty as well as the curriculum structure of the institute?
So the curriculum is very different, right? And that is the big positive part about the whole, college and the course, because the curriculum is very different and it is very industry oriented. You will learn things that will actually help you in the professional life, apart from all the theory and all that you learn in class, na. So specifically the first year, the founding year, although people say that what are they teaching, critical thinking is not something important to be taught or something like that. But for me, honestly, critical thinking and all those subjects are the ones that actually helped me in the interview and everything. Specifically critical thinking and business communication. These two courses were very, very essential. Now, you will learn communication, then every soft skill that you require, because it is not always about theory. So yeah, so I think the curriculum is very different and very much up to the industrial standards, and you learn things that will actually help you, right? And then apart from that, you asked about faculties. So for in during our year, back like 3 years back, it was only visiting faculty. Right now, so you have a mixture of visiting as well as permanent faculty. So at that time, we were, like the only thing permanent was the administration and the hostel staff we had. Apart from that, the faculty and everyone was visiting. So the plus point was we got, expertise in every area. We got professors from IIMs and all the top institutes to teach us. So it was a good experience in that sense. The one thing that we lagged behind was like getting that a permanent bond kind of thing with your faculty and professor, having them with you with in every time. And that thing we lagged behind. We didn't have any bond with anyone. There were only few faculties who taught us repeatedly for different trimesters. So we had a bit bond with them. Apart from that, maximum of them came for 3 months and then they went back. So it was never a permanent bond kind of thing with them. So yeah, we all, you have your plus and minus for everything. So yeah, other than that, at a whole structure, it is quite good.
Yeah, adding to that point, that even presently we have opportunity to learn from visiting faculties, and we ourselves are seeing that how great the teachers are. So talking about permanent faculties also, the new permanent faculties coming in are also really good in their own field. So let's hope that everything gets fine and move on in that way. So okay, coming to next question, that the global pandemic that we know that hit very hard on everybody, like around the world, especially specifically for students. Everybody had to shift to online mode from their offline enjoyment on campus and all those things. So being a foundation batch student of NRTI who has been part of both online and offline learning process, like would you feel that online was better or offline was better? Any opinion on that?
So I don't think it is even a question to ask, because obviously, offline is better, no doubt at all in that. In online, see, very honestly, you also know how many people listen to online classes. Maximum of them, cameras are off, mics are off, so they are just doing their own stuff. They just go there for attendance and everything. So yeah, that is it. How it is about now. If it is offline, being a backbencher, even if you're distracted from the whole class, you will end up listening to at least few things. So you will get to know what is going on in the class. And moreover, apart from this, a basic interaction with your batchmates and friends, that is also very essential in the learning process. It's not only about the professor speaking, and you listening. It's about the interaction that is very important. So obviously, offline, without any doubt, offline is more much better and very important also. So for in our case, it was our luck that we got all the core subjects taught to us online in the online mode, because our founding year was offline and the half of the second year was offline. After that, everything went online. So we had our final year online, and then the core concept that would have been a lot better if we were taught face to face in the offline mode. were all taught online. So I think that will be better in your case because you'll get all those core subjects to be taught offline. If like fingers crossed, if Corona is fine.
Hopefully talking that we should get those core subjects learned on campus. So let's hope on that. And moving on, talking about on campus, memories are made on campus better than anywhere else. So hostels and all those lives, like, would you like to share about your memories with respect to college and campus that you had?
So I have a lot of memories. So we started with a very big family of 100 people. At that time, we didn't even felt like we were in a college. It was more of a big family living together, helping each other out, then having small clashes also, then having small groups formed in that also. But again, though, at that time it was like if we all are together, we all are together. There is no groups. So yeah, it was never like a college like feeling for first year at least. After juniors came, so things changed eventually, even inside batch and externally also. So that is a different story. But for the first year, it was completely different. So it was not even like a college. We were experimenting things out, trying it. If it works, then we'll go with it. If it doesn't work, then we skip it. So it was like that. And then talking about hostel and all, so our first memory only with the hostel was very fun. So for the girls hostel, initially we were shown the same hostel as boys. So we were expecting it will be similar. So they told us that the building is different, but rooms will be same. So we had the similar expectations, right? But then we went to college, things were very different because our rooms were not even like, they were not even made completely. So only apart from all the 8 rooms, we had only one room was completely done. Apart from that, painting or something was left in other rooms. The ceiling is not done or painting is not done, something was left. So now we all are shocked on the very first day. This was the welcome. So we all are shocked and surprised that what the hell is wrong? Matlab, why are we given this hostel and boys are having that? So we all are that feminist thing, na? So why only girls are have to compromise in this? This is not fair and that and all. So that was the day, we started with that founding batch energy from that day only. So we wrote an application. We said no, we want it to be fixed or something like that. So yeah, we all had that, rebelling thing from the very first day. So yeah, that's how we started. So memories are endless. So yeah,
Yeah, that was really cool. But talking about the girls' hostel that you've already mentioned, like, let me ask another question in regard to that. Because the new students or the aspiring students, specifically talking about girl child and their parents, they are concerned about the facilities of hostels being a residential program, how good the facilities are, and most probably the safety. So let's give them a clear picture about this. So what is your opinion over that?
so for safety, I don't think it should be a concern at all because we live in a campus shared with Nair, so we have our boundaries protected by RPF, and that only word defines how safe it is. Like you can roam around even at midnight without any concerns or something like that because it is that safe. So, in terms of our hostel, we had a curfew time at 10 p.m. and we have our warden room just beside the door. So she locked the door at 10 strictly, and after that you can have fun inside the hostel also. But anyways, the hostel is very safe, very safe. No questions in that.
That gives a really clear picture to most of the parents as well as students to be a part of this. And mentioning about Naya, there's no second thoughts about the security.
Right.
Uh, so moving on, that I personally know you, and like the students of your batchmates told me that you love to travel. So would you like to suggest few places to the students who are gonna be on campus around Vadodara, places around Vadodara, so that they can put in their initial bucket list so that they can visit whenever they're bored?
So there are many places. If you are open for traveling a longer period of time, so there are many places you can search for if you are interested in trekking and all. We went for a trekking to Polo Forest. So you can search many. There are many for trekking purpose. But if you are willing to go for a longer trip, like for 3 days, 2 days, something like that. But if you want to go for a day trip kind of thing, so there is a dam which is like 1 or 2 hours drive from our campus. It's Sindhurud Dam. You can go there. You'll have a water park kind of fun over there. but go there in like early morning, as early as possible, because Vadodara is a very hot place. You'll like the sun like comes rises like you'll have a completely like proper sunlight by 9 or 10 in the morning. Okay, so it is very hot. You will not be interested in leaving the AC room at that time. So whatever you go, wherever you go, plan it as early as possible in the morning. So you can go there, you can book a Zoom car or something like that. It's easily accessible there. Then there is one place named Pavagad. You can also go there for a 1 day trip perfectly. You that Pavagad is like again a trekking kind of trip. You will have buses connecting from the bus station nearby to campus to the Pavagad stand. So you that is again very easily accessible. And then a very hyped place, that is Daman. Even though for these 3 years I've never been there, but you can try it out. You will have train. You will have to take a train for there. But again, it can be managed in a day trip kind of thing. So yeah, there are many places you can enjoy. Baki to you have malls and all around your campus only. So yeah, for 3 to 4 years you will have fun, but there's no nightlife. If anyone is looking for that, there is no nightlife in Vadodara. So it is more of a very peaceful place. And if you want to explore it at night, there is only one place you can go. Which will you will be open at night, and that also closes at 3 a.m. in the morning. So that place name is Ratri Bazaar. So that is something that it is only a a food market kind of thing. You will find restaurants, dhabas on and all, and it is like a closed area. So that opens around, I don't know, I think 10 or 11 in the night and closes at 3. So that is a night food market kind of thing. So that is the only thing you'll have after 12 opened in Vadodara. Apart from that, there is no nightlife.
Yeah, mentioned about night food things. Any food centers around? Because there are a lot of food lovers. So,
So I would suggest you like the main go-to spots our college students had was the the Ande wali shop outside the hostel, and there is a dabeli and vada pav shop. These three stalls, not shop exactly, there are stalls. So you can try them out. They're just outside the campus gate. And then apart from that, there is a place that I really liked. That was Jojo. So you can search for it on Google. It is like little far from the campus. You can go, once in a while there. But the food there, you'll love it. If you like Chinese and all that, you'll like the place. People usually search for momos if any momo fan. So you will get momo. So there are only 2 or 3 places in whole Vadodara you'll find momos, and the best one are from Jojo.
that's really a good information because I personally know someone that who loves momos, so it will be helpful for them as well.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to next question. Working in an environment or an institute which has pre-rules or all the clubs, all the structure is already built, is different from building something from the base that's happened with your batch in an RTI because you were the founding batch. So we have already mentioned, and you yourself also told that you are an all-rounder, being part of everything. And if I'm not wrong, you are one of the founding members of Event Managing Club and even Dance Club and many other things. So how did you exactly manage to do those things with only certain number of students? And then how did that eventually go on to the next year where other students added as well? So
So yeah, as I said initially, there was no rules and all. So we were like a family experimenting things out. So at that time, as you also mentioned right now, that the number of people were very less. So we didn't have any rule ki you can be part of 1 or 2 clubs or something like that. Everyone was open, to participate in anything they want. And then everyone was open to take up any new initiative they want. So it was like we used to have town halls and everything. So there were two professors who were with us for a whole year. One was Jagjit ma'am and another was Mathai sir. So both of them taught us some subjects in all the 3 trimesters. So they were the ones who stayed with us for the longest time span. So there was a bond with them, obviously, and they helped in building up the culture from the base also. So we used to have town hall meetings with Mathai sir and everyone sitting together, and then anyone was open for we had a meeting for starting up these clubs. So at that time, I remember the people were pitching ideas. Volga started like pitched the idea for having a dance club. So at that time, because the crowd was less, there was no rule. So if we had a performance for dance, we had an open invitation to everyone. We'll give open invitation to anyone who wants to join in, they can join in. So it was like that at that time. And even for the EMC, we were just a group of 5 people figuring out that what can we do, and how can we just arrange up some event, or had that fun, because it was a new college. We were also new, they are also new to the concept. We are also not aware what all should be there and how it should be there, so we were just exploring. Yeah, I like to dance, so like let's just start something that is related to dance. Or maybe we want to have fun, we want an event to happen, so let's just start a committee who arranges those events. So this is how it happened. So I remember the first event we had with EMC was Garba Night, and after that we officially got the name that yeah, we are the event management club or committee or something like that. Before that, though, we were just group of 5 people, just figuring out how to do it and all. So yeah, this is how it went. Then at that time it was very open ended. So there were many clubs that were formed, many groups that were formed at that time, uh, just to try out whether it's working or not, how many people are interested, and is it feasible to make it a club. And then the actual official announcements and actual official work that yeah, this is a club and this is the team, this is the club head and whatsoever, that happened when junior came in the next year. Because at that time we needed a base to be there, na, to show them what we are doing, where we are, and how they can catch up with it. So at that time the official thing got happened, so we got 6 or 7 club listed in the official list, and all those paperwork, and who is the club head, who will be the responsible person for all the activities happening under the club. Then that time it got started. It's still getting figured, like it's still under construction right now, because still the
Yeah.
rules and all are being made and the powers and all is being distributed. But anyways, that was the time the official work got started when the juniors came. Then we set it up some rules that you can join in these many clubs, you can be at a leading position for these many clubs, and so and so. So yeah, that's how it went.
Yeah, mentioning about that being 1 year experience as student, even if it's an online course as of now. So I can tell you that it is getting better. When I heard from your classmates and people who founded many things, it is getting better, and then people are also working on it to make it more specific and structured. So that is a good thing. And then moving ahead, let's talk about something serious and then career life. So, as the stats and the college things tells that you are one among those few students from BBA who got placed on campus. So, would you like to share about where exactly you placed? What is your role in the organization? How did the interview process go? Anything in relation to placement thing. So, it's up to you now.
Okay, so I am presently working with Yulu Bikes. You must have heard about it, being from Bangalore. So anyone who doesn't know can search about it. So yeah, so it is a startup, and why I got interested in startup was again the reason of my interest in trying out new things, and taking a risk and being a initiative taker kind of personality. So yeah, this was something I was like, yeah, I'll be happy to do it, not force, I'll not be doing forcefully. So that is the reason I chose this job. And my role in my company is I am a part of strategic alliances and partnership team. So working on building up the business and expanding it further. So that is what my role is like. And talking about my interview, it was a very long process. Very long process, and as long as the process goes, the anxiety increases, specifically when I'm giving an interview on Monday and I'm getting the result on next Monday. So I have to wait for a week expecting what will happen and all. So it was like, firstly, as always, you have to submit the resume, they'll shortlist a few people. Then we had our first round of interview. Then again shortlisting. Then they gave us an assignment with some general questions as well as some data analytics part. And then a second round of interview, and then the final selection. So this was how it went. Yeah. So anything specific you want to talk in this?
Yeah, specifically talking about in the sense because you were your batch is the only batch who got placed since the budding institute of NRTI. So would you like to suggest few things that you observed in the process of placement that a student or a junior can accommodate in, learn the prerequisites, skills that specifically what companies looking forward from this transportation sector in like institute. So would you like to suggest some online courses that they have to do in their tenure, how to concentrate on their soft skills, communication skills, and anything, any suggestions from your side?
So suggestion from my side will be firstly explore yourself. You should know what you want to do. Okay, it should not be like just following the crowd and something like that. So if you are into BBA, BSc or whatsoever, you should be clear what type of job you want. If and all at all you are interested in working after bachelor's, or else just clear up your mind and explore yourself. You have 3 years in hand. Try out whatever you want to try. Participate in as many things as you can, and then you will get to know yourself better. That will help you a lot during interviews also, because interview is all about telling about yourself. And then suggestion for interview, I'll not say do like I'll not frankly I'll not suggest any online course, because even I haven't done any online course. I have just done three that were compulsory, made compulsory from the college side for credits. So that's it. And anyways, I never emphasized in the interview about my online course also. Never. So one very, very basic advice for interview from my side will be don't show off. Even if you know, then also don't show off unless and until you are 100% sure about a thing. So interview is always in your hand. It's not like it's very rare that a person has already prepared a questionnaire to ask from you. It happens only when you are applying for a very, very, very technical job. So at that time they'll know, yeah, I have to ask this and that. Otherwise, if it's a general interview, they'll never have a perfect questionnaire prepared for you beforehand. So it's very much up to you. So they'll ask you, okay, introduce yourself. Now don't even say the word that you don't understand, okay? Because usually people do that. They use big words that they feel the interview will like it, right? And then once the interview start asking you question around that big word, you'll just it will just go out of hand for you. So it is always up to you how you take your interview, how you roll up that conversation at that moment. So just say and talk about things that you know that you are very, very confident about. Apart from that, like I have given interviews for logistic thing also, and supply chain and logistic also. So I'll say that preparation for interview is very subjective depending on what role you are applying for. If you are applying for a logistic and supply chain job, go through all the things you have read or studied related to those two fields, because obviously they'll ask you some or the other technical question, right? And then in general, communication skills is very important, very, very important. So then how do you learn communication? For that, again, explore yourself, participate in things, speak. That is how you build up the personality. So it's never like it will never get built up on its own. You will have to work on something or the other, and then you will see a difference in yourself by default. And in our college, I'll say the first year, the founding courses that you will learn, and those few courses will help you a lot, like a lot, because the theories never remain in the mind, right? You'll have the concepts in your hand, but again, speaking up about that concept is how it where goes now. So there, the skill of communication and confidence, how much confident you are, that helps a lot. So apart from online courses and everything, I'll say just keep a balance. You have 3 years, study, do academics is fine, because everyone is doing academics. Even if you say that I am a topper, that will not help you get a job or something like that. Even in your masters also, because masters is also not, the admissions are also not based completely on the result, because you are topper, there are 10 more toppers in line. Okay? So it is not always about academic or something like that. You have to be, you have to have something unique for you. In my case, it was never online courses or something like that. I have to have not even mentioned anything in my resume. I just wrote up the stuff that I felt was important for that particular job. So it is about how you speak things. So, give an example for startup now. As I mentioned for logistics, that they asked question for that. Now, my role was completely, open-ended. Alliances, partnership, what they'll ask. technical in these type of things. So it was a very, they asked me to build up a, okay, so you have to launch this or you have to do this. Now make up a plan and let me tell me how you'll go about it. Now, what particular course will help you do that? There's no course that, I can't name a course ki you go study that, you will know how to answer the question. Right. And moreover, these type of questions don't even have a right or wrong answer. Right. So here where the critical thinking and all those practice comes into action, that you start thinking and you have that speed to make up a plan and then tell them. So yeah, it is very much about how you get those concepts inside yourself, and then again how you explore yourself more.
Yeah, this is really insightful. So to add to this, from first year, whatever I've learned, CTW to be elaborating as critical thinking and writing. So they're also teaching us how to adapt to the corporate world as of now, preparing your resume, how to reach out people through emails and all those things. So they are really helpful. And there's another course as well as Foundation of Leadership you might have been remembering from the first trimesters. So as far as I've heard, the people who are like working in the corporate world are given opportunity at this point of 30 years of point to learn about that. And we are getting opportunity in our undergraduate tenure itself. So NRTI is really concentrating on soft skills more, like giving equal preference to both soft skills and knowledge as well. So that's a good thing. And then you talked about CVs and resume of doing courses and as well, many of those things. So specifically talking about NRTI, the major plus point for that is having internship in with the Indian Railways, and that too in your first year of your undergrad. So what is your experience, even if that is kind of changed with each batch, because the junior batch of yours had hit with pandemic, and then they're trying something new with us as well, hybrid system. That's still in a process. So would you like to share your ideologies or your review on how did the Indian Railway internship go on?
So we had one internship that we had on field, and the other one was online. So the very first internship, it was with Indian Railways. So I was in Delhi because I am from Delhi. So I was placed in Delhi. So what it was like, we had 6 to 8 weeks. All the weeks were divided into different departments. So we got a chance to explore that particular department for a whole week, and then at the end we can prepare a report giving reviews and all that for every department, and maybe a particular problem that we want to focus on. So it was very open-ended thing again. Right now, so it is very kind of getting systemized, systematic and all. But at that time, it was again an experimenting thing that was happening. So ours was like we have to focus on a few, like in the first year what you have learned. You have learned all those soft skills, and apart from that you will have a course of IDT, the design thinking
Yeah.
thing and all that, right? System thinking, design thinking. So now we were asked to do the report based on those few things. So our agenda was to observe thing and find out problem in the system, maybe of something related to design or maybe something related to other things, and then give a possible feasible solution for it. That was the basic core of the whole internship. So we got a chance to explore the control room, the telecom and signal department, then visiting the railway station, doing some, uh, going there with the manager of the railway station, and seeing how the things are working. And then we also got a chance to. So there was a rule that was being placed in Delhi that plastic is not allowed. Plastic free station, if you have heard about it. So specifically, the New Delhi one is being given the title of plastic free station. So we went for an inspection there to see whether it is plastic free or not. So for in the Delhi one, it was actually plastic free. And then we went for an inspection in Nizamuddin railway station. So there also the rule is being made that it should be plastic free, but still the vendors were using that plastic cup or plates or something like that. Then we went for an inspection, they were, so you will feel that you are going for an inspection and they're actually scared that you will cut a fine or something like that. So it was very fun. I will say it was very much fun and all. And yeah, then we did one thing that one thing that was highlight for me was in I think in Nizamuddin they were selling lighters. the shops we had on the platform, na? So they were saying lighter. So smoking is prohibited in railways, right? So we had a conversation with the manager there that why is lighter being sold if smoking is prohibited? Does that make sense? When you're not allowing someone to smoke, then you're selling lighter, which supports the smoke. So he understood the point, and at that time only he passed a rule that lighters will be added to prohibited items. So that was a highlight for me for the whole internship. So yeah, it was fun. We explored many things. Then my report was very much focused on the cleanliness part. So bit of that wala thing, and then it was all good. Being a first year student, we explored a lot.
Yeah, so that was the highlight. Whenever I talk to my friends who are not a part of this institute, whenever I'm telling that I'm getting an internship in Indian Railways, everybody feels that okay, how can you get an internship in first year specifically, and then
Exactly.
that too with Indian Railways. So NRTI is giving us really good opportunity. No second thoughts on that.
Right.
Huh. And then talking about these things, you visited all the railway stations and went through it. I've also heard that founding batch student, when you were on campus, even on the second year students who were on campus for a minimum time of period, so they had an opportunity to visit few industries in and around Vadodara and specifically in Gujarat. So, would you like to share about those things? I've heard Bombardier, Amul, and other things. So, would you like to get into that?
Yeah. So Amul, I don't consider in industrial visit thing because you know Amul, it was more like a one day picnic kind of thing. We went there and saw how the factory works, how chocolates are made, and all that. So it was more like we go for a school. In school days, you used to go for picnic, na, in pre-primary wings, how chocolates are made. So they used to take you to a Amul factory. So that was what Amul about. So it happened when we were asking for a college trip or college picnic or something like that, and then they arranged a Amul visit. So, anyways, moving on from that, the actual industrial visit was Bombardier, yeah, and there was a visit to a port also. I was not part of the port visit because half of the batch visited port and half visited Bombardier. Then it was meant to happen the reverse also in future, but then COVID and all came. So yeah, then I don't have any idea what was the port visit about and what all they saw there. But I went to Bombardier. So Bombardier, we went there in the industrial plant only, and there they were working on Delhi Metro project at that time. So we saw how those compartments and all are being made, and then yeah, so we visited the whole plant. We saw what are the process and everything. We wore those jacket and helmets also. So it was fun. It was fun.
That's really great. And I've also heard that there are conferences that NRTI students are given really good preference to be a part of transportation conferences across the country. So, if I'm not wrong, you were also a part of many conferences as such. So, would you like to share one or two experiences of that as well?
Yeah, so I have been to like few conferences in my first and second year, and then so it went online and everything. So the first conference I went to was in Mumbai. It was rethinking urban streets. So it was related to urban transportation planning and everything like that. It was the best conference I've been to in like all these 3 years. A topic which I was actually interested in, and from there the actual interest of me in this. Rebuilding the urban transportation stuff, and how the whole transportation specifically the public transport inside the city is lagging behind the all these changing expectations from the transportation. So that was where the interest started, and then I did my thesis also in something related to this topic only. So
So,
yeah, that was.
I wanted to ask something in related to that. Since you're working in a sector which is Yulu Bike, which is related to urban transport, as you told. So, did that conference and the thesis that you worked on made a way or carved a path for you to be in this career that you already have been a part of right now?
So, not like for me, in terms of my interest, I'll say yes. Because, yeah, I was interested in urban transport, and since Yulu is working in rebuilding the urban transport sector, so I was interested in Yulu. That is a reason for me. And if you ask, was that a reason for the company that I have done those things? I'm not sure about it because they never mentioned in the interview. But anyways, maybe they must have seen in the resume or something like that. That can be there. So I can't comment on that.
That's really good for the students who are listening to this, as well as the aspiring students who are going to be a part of this. Just make sure that whatever you are interested in, be a part of it so that either you will find your interest in that or the company might take you on that basis, which is not sure in this reason, but still there are chances, I guess.
Right, right. They affect at any way. In any way they affect. Na? So in interview, even if they don't mention, you can mention it. And if you mention, the point is noted down. That is how it goes, right?
Exactly.
Because resumes, they are reviewing it. So every point you mention in the resume has some effect on it. And then in interview, it is up to you. You want to mention it, you will mention it. I mentioned about my thesis that I'm working on a thesis that is related to urban transport. I was asked question related to it. I remember in the interview. So I can't comment that was that a point of selection or that what made it different. But yeah, it must have some or the other weightage in the final result.
That's really cool. So, yeah, talking about these things, that final conclusion about what we talked is whatever you're doing, keep your entire structure in there, keep your entire mind, learn whatever you're studying, and then you can find yourself in there. And yeah, you were talking about Bombardier. I guess you finished about Bombardier, but we are talking about other conferences as well.
Yeah.
IIM or something. You were also part of it, if I'm not wrong. So can you just go on? Sorry about that.
No, no, no. So yeah, I was talking about the conferences. So one of them was this, and then I went to a few conferences in Delhi, which was Smart City, and then there was a conference for Indian Railways, and then we went for a few workshops in IIM also during which they have their summit and all, Red Brook Summit and everything. So at that time we went to IIMs also. So yeah, it is always good to participate in as many conferences, as many workshops you can. Specifically, if it is somewhat related to your interest. That is again a very important point. Don't go to don't just jump into anything even if you're not interested. Go and explore the areas which make you interest even 5%, so that you can see if that 5% is actually an interest to you, or maybe you just drop it out to 0%. So that is very important. So yeah, that's how the conferences actually helps you. It helps you to know where the whole sector is lagging behind, where you can push yourself to different things, and then it increases your area. How you will have a wider view of the whole industry and where you can put yourself into.
Yeah, so let's get this conference thing a little more clear picture. So, which student and how many students, what is the criteria to be a part of conference? Obviously, not every student from a batch can be a part of conference. So, any of those of criteria which applies for that?
So it is different for different conferences. So the selection process is different for different conferences. Many times it happens like if we are into vacations and some conference come. So at that time the preference is given to the person who is staying in the area the conference is happening. And then many times if it is not like that, then they will see if 10 people are interested and only 2 people can go, they can even filter it out according to your grade point. And then attendance can be a criteria. Yes, it can be. They can, so it is in their hands. They can make anything a criteria if they want. Okay. So attendance has been a criteria in many conferences. So if you have attendance below this much percentage, they'll not consider your entry. And then grade point is also criteria many times. So these two are the basic thing, right? Attendance and grade point. They usually happen to be a criteria. Apart from that, it can happen that maybe they'll ask you to submit a write up or something like that related to the topic the conference is happening about. So just to check up, like, are you actually interested or do you actually know the area or not? So yeah, so again, it is very subjective. It keeps on changing from conference to conference.
Yes, so there's no specific rules or criteria to be the part of it, but still everybody is requested or like suggested to be in all rounding things so that they can manage everywhere if there is an opportunity to be a part of it.
Right, right.
Yeah, so moving on, we can talk about your final thing of sharing your thoughts or something to your juniors so that they will be into this college, or something that you couldn't do it, or something that you'll suggest them to do it, anything, your basic word of experience or suggestion to your juniors.
So I'll just share what I had in my mind in all these 3 years. So one thing is, don't just be dependent on academics. Don't be a bookworm kind of thing and just focusing on getting good grades and everything. Explore as much as you can. Maintain your grades. That is also very important. I'll not say that just flunk in it and just keep on doing activities and other things. So for me, for the whole 3 years, the one thing that I had in my mind in terms of academic was the GPA should be above 8, because that is the criteria that helps you in getting into colleges as well as in job also, because maximum have their foundation at 8, right, the good ones. So I had this criteria made up in my mind from the first day only, that the academic should be kept 8 above, and then I'll enjoy. So it is college life. You have 3 years, so just have fun, enjoy, and explore, do whatever you want, try whatever you want, experiment into things, take initiatives, form new things. And being in NRTI, it's still in the building process. You'll get a lot of chances to take up a new initiative, and even you will get a chance to speak up your idea. You don't get these chances in normal colleges. You have this opportunity open for you in this, and just utilize it, because taking these initiatives will help you a lot, because it will improve all the soft skills that you require in professional life, and it will also build up your mind and thinking skills of finding solutions, or maybe systemizing the whole process, or whatever it is. So the suggestion will be this only: keep a balance of academic as well as extracurricular, participate in as many things as you can, try out new stuff, and most importantly, have fun.
That was really good. And I forgot to mention something with respect to what you were telling, soft skills. So NRTI curriculum is designed in such a way that half of the weightage for your final exam or your grading system is based on the projects you do. And projects are mainly based on group projects. So you will have to try new groups. They'll randomize you. It will improve your communication skills, leadership skills. If nobody is going or something, you have to push forward of yourself, take initiative, give them the do this, that. So I guess that also improved you, like that had a real good influence on you to be a diplomatic part of your career in that stage. So would you like to add something about in that perspective?
That is a very essential part of the whole grading, although every student hates that part because many times it happens you lose mark when there's no mistake from your side, and that is what a teamwork is about. It's not only about your individual perfection or individual mistake. It's always about the team, how the teams goes together, and how none of the person from the team should make a mistake. So yeah, you will learn a lot. Specifically in NRTI, you'll have a mix of almost every state of India, and that also will be a very big challenge, because I am from north, you are from south, right? So
Exactly.
there's a difference in perspective, and then there's a difference in how we analyze a thing, how we see a thing, or how we have a perspective towards anything or any question at all. So that will give you opportunity to explore your horizons also. You'll have that if I am thinking in this way and you are thinking in an opposite way, we'll have a chance to see that what I am not seeing and what extra you are seeing, or something like that. So it always it will give you a very good opportunity to explore that thing. And like in my case also, I've stayed in different parts of India for short time spans. So that also gives you that, and now in NRK you'll get all of that together at a place. So that is a very good opportunity for you to know the culture of different areas and how differently people think. So it will be a very good chance for you to explore. Although, as I said, people usually hate doing teamwork and all that, but it will be fun. At the end, you will miss it when you leave the college.
Talking about the teamwork as well, like this is in a class level, but other things as student council, club head, and all those things come into matter, which you can show your leadership skills without boundaries in an entire institute. And mentioning about that, with an increasing of family, that many PG courses have included, BSc, BTech course have included, and then all with all these things, NRTI family is a big thing as of now, and we are having a structured student council coming as well. So students from any part can be a part of it, and then now NRTI is completely fulfilled with what exactly it needs. From now on, it is going to be things, and for that I have to thank you guys, founding batch students who made or carved a path for happening of all these things. In fact, I can tell in a other way as well, around like your experiments had made us realize that this is not the way we have to do it. So yeah, thanks on that matter. And finally, moving on to the last question. So if there is anything that, if you had a given an opportunity to go back and then do something in college which you couldn't do because of various limitations of limited students, with no permanent faculties, or with any other miscommunications or something like that. So would you like to suggest few ideas that you had but you couldn't do it, which can make an RTI shine brighter, so that that baton can be taken from any of the juniors? So is there anything you can go on?
So, one thing would be like creating a very good system, right? At that time, we didn't have that, like, firstly, though, we didn't have those professionals assigned to create that system. Secondly, we were only a small crowd. How can we build those things at that time? So there was something missing and all that. So even though we tried, but it didn't went well. So now, since the things have been grown, but I still feel if we would have done it earlier in the first year, it would have been a lot easier to form that system. But due to the lack of resources and all that, it didn't happen. So that is the one thing that would wanted to do at that time if the things were better. So yeah, because creating system is very important. If the system would have been created at that time only, the mess or the small clashes or something that we have right now, the confusions and all that would not have been there if the system was created at that time. But anyways, better late than never. So now things are happening. I can see a huge change in everything, right? Like, and like it is simple. Now you learn, and then you grow. You can see the difference in the internship thing only. As you mentioned, the criteria, the process of internship which we had 2 years back is completely different what you are having right now. So this
Yes.
shows that they are also exploring and learning and implementing new and better ways to do things.
If we had not mentioned properly about internship, I'll like to add it here, that the initial student or the founding batch student have a really good internship thing, and then the pandemic hit for the second thing. I already mentioned it, but for our batch presently, to not just our batch, for this academic year of all the batches, the internship is really well structured.
Right.
So whatever we are doing, we will have an impact in our career as well. So from now on, it's going to be really structured, helpful for every student. Apart from like, without your interest, you can't do anything in internship. So this time, if you have interest, you can easily narrate it or narrow down your thoughts to a specific thing as well. So yeah, that thing I had to mention and I mentioned. And yeah, hopefully you gave us a lot of insights about the college, and I'm sure that this will clear us major of misunderstanding or misconceptions, perceptions about college, everything, because listening from an experienced people or the founding batch students like you will really have an impact. So thank you for taking out your time, being with us in your busy schedule. You're already part of corporate world and you started working. So yeah, thank you. Hopefully we couldn't get to meet everybody in person, even though we had met personally. So we couldn't meet. Hopefully from the convocation, we might get together or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. It was really nice talking to you all and sharing my views and getting those nostalgia for all the 3 years back. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, and looking forward to meeting you in the convocation. If again,
if
fingers crossed.
that's
So
still no.
yeah,
See, but still, we are in depth for the founding batch, because no matter how many batches can come on add on to the family, but still foundation is the foundation. Nobody can change that. So whenever you come back, we still will be in next 2 years. We still will be here itself. So guess everybody who knows you knows about that, not just you, in general for the foundation batch. So on behalf of the entire batch of the foundation, on behalf of our batch to the foundation batch, I would like to tell that thank you for everything.